Hey lovelies, it's Alexa with Bluewoods Design and Mixed Media Art School, and today's Monday prompt project is window, and I created something a little different this week. So I am also a writer. I was a writer well before I did anything visual art-wise, and so I thought today I would pick up some of my writing, and it's a piece I wrote a long time ago, probably, 15 years ago, maybe. And I thought I would use that to inspire this page. Number one, I was thinking of actually creating a literal window in my page, but I was also thinking, sharing some of my writing that puts it's a window into me, into my soul. So I start off by scribbling in my quickest writing, so not necessarily super clear. I am using an Elegant Writer here because I want to spray it and kind of have it be blurry, since I'm kind of playing on this idea of what is my past, right? So I will share with you, and this is actually a really long poem, but I only put part of it on here, and so I'll share that with you. And what I'm writing right now says, "Writing to you is sometimes the only thing that gets me through. Because I know if you're listening, this moment has passed and I've come out on the other side. And I know that you see me more clearly than I see myself. So I'm asking you to listen to my troubles and maybe even asking for a little help as I stumble through. Because I want nothing more than to get to you." And the way that this poem ends, it says, "Out there somewhere I can feel you listening." And this poem is actually a letter to my future self. So anytime I was kind of in a place where I was worried or struggling or anxious or anything, really, big feelings, right? I always kind of thought of myself in the future, and that I know I'm going to get there. I know I'm going to get to where I want to. And writing to that person saying hey, I know I get through this. I just need your help to get to where you are. I don't know. It just comforted me. So I thought, okay, that's a really cool idea, right? Because it's also a poem that talks about this window into my future self. So I am using a piece of book paper to create my window. And I thought that was also appropriate because, like I said, I'm a writer. I was an English and reading teacher for many years, so words, book pages all mean a lot to me. So I create this really fun little window that's not a literal window, right? I rip open this book page so that you can see that writing, but not totally clearly. My thought is that my past self who was writing that is kind of on the other side of that. And me sitting here creating, I'm the future, right? I'm that person that I was writing to. And so I'm going to create a really loose, messy sketch on this side with my water-soluble graphite. And purposefully, I am creating it very cloudy and dark, and I don't want it to necessarily be sad, because I don't even know that when I wrote this I was necessarily so sad. I think it was more kind of finding your direction, right? So not super clear in where I was headed or what I was doing. So I didn't want this to be a perfect portrait. So I'm doing it super loose, and I'm going to grab some gesso and start to smush that around. And of course, I'm doing this in a junk journal, which the pages are definitely not meant for a lot of wet medium. So you'll see at some point I flip the page over and I'm like, oh, okay, now I've got stuff on my next two pages already started. And that's fine, because I can always gesso over that or just use it as inspiration. So I definitely was not paying attention to the paper and the medium and the this and the that. I was just creating. This one was definitely inspired by the writing and by this idea of a window into who I am and who I was and who I am now. And so that's sort of the inspiration for it. And you'll see I really create this messy sketch, and then I create a window on this side as well out of book pages. And then because it was this side of the pages is my current life, right? I made it out on the other side. I put some flowers and a butterfly kind of to signify that I've made it. I've gotten to where I want to. Now, granted, I could also take this and say, I could write the same thing now, talking to my future self about some other thing, right? So it's kind of this back and forth window, if you will. It could be from my past to now or now to my future. But I did want there to be a brightness to it. And then I used the last line of the poem, "Out there somewhere I can feel you listening," on this side of the window. And then I grab a blue Stabilo and just add in this blue, but I really wanted to marry the two because I am still connected to that person. I am still the person I was. I am, no matter how much you grow and change, right? Like it is still me. It's me to me, right? So I use that blue both on both levels, like kind of joining them together. And I think that's probably it. And again, I don't know. So I've been creating in a little bit different of a space, not out in my art garage studio that I usually do. So my lighting is a little wonky sometimes in the house. So I'm like noticing some fading color. Sorry about that. I don't even know how this happens because no lighting changes. Every time I think I've solved it, something else happens. But anyway, so I apologize about that. But I do invite you guys to play along this week and create a window some way, somehow in your creating. Now, you could go super literal and create a window where it's looking out onto like gorgeous scenery. That's totally fair and totally part of the prompt. Whatever window kind of speaks to you, that's what I want you to do. I want you to come up with an idea. It could be, you could literally do what I'm doing, right? Like think about who you were and who you are now and have this little window of a glimpse into either your past or your present or your future. Play around with it. Let yourself kind of get lost in it. Get creative with how you create your windows. I used book pages and tore them to create a window. You could use like some of that junk mail that has like an actual like cellophane kind of window, right? You could use that. Get really creative and please share with us. We have our Facebook group or on any social media, just tag us with Monday Prompt Project and we will see what you guys create. And I know that we've got another resident artist creating with us this week. I have to look up who it is. I think it might be Renee, but I will drop her link below and you can check out what she creates with the prompt window. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Enjoy watching the rest of us, and I will see you guys next week.